Thonis Heracleion, known as Thonis to the Egyptians and Heracleion to the Greeks, was a bustling city at the mouth of the Nile River that served as the region's largest port for centuries before its collapse. Long ago, the Egyptian city of Thonis Heracleion sank into the Mediterranean and the misty land of legend. Over 1,000 years, its memory faded away as the waves crashed above our heads, until the world began to wonder whether the once proud port, known as Thonis to the Egyptians and Heracleion to the Greeks, really existed. So how did this ancient city of Thonis Heracleion fall into the sea many years ago? And what exactly did divers find in these dark depths? Thonis Heracleion, probably founded in the 8th century BC, long reigned as Egypt's most important port. Located in today's Abu Qir Gulf in the Mediterranean, the city was the first stop for ships bringing goods to Egypt from all over the ancient world. It was also an interesting place. It was a jumble of canals, harbors, and docks connected by ferries, boats, and bridges. It was certainly a dynamic site at its peak, but almost all descriptions of Thonis Heracleion have been lost to the ages. Instead, it exists mostly in the world of myth. The Greek historian Herodotus identified Thonis Heracleion as the exact location where Heracles first came to Egypt and where Paris and Helen of Troy visited before the start of the Trojan War. However, as the centuries passed, the fate of Thonis Heracleion changed. In 331 BC, Alexander the Great founded the city of Alexandria, 15 miles to the southwest. This large city, boasting the famous Lighthouse of Alexandria, soon became Egypt's leading port. Thonis Heracleion almost literally sank while Alexandria rose. The city has been besieged by a series of natural disasters, including earthquakes, tsunamis, and rising sea levels. At the end of the 2nd century, probably around 101 BC, the central island slid into the sea near the city's main temples. The hard clay beneath them had almost turned into liquid. By the 8th century AD, Thonis Heracleion had completely disappeared. All that remained of the once proud port city were shreds of legend, leading some to believe it never existed. Centuries have passed. Thonis Heracleion became a legend. Archaeologists searching for the lost city looked on land, which meant the city remained hidden. For these early archaeologists, finding an underwater site several kilometers offshore was inconceivable. Frank Goddio, founder of the European Institute of Underwater Archaeology, which initially located the Thonis Heracleion ruins, explains on his website, the city is also covered with meters of sand and sediment, and it's entirely possible to dive to the seabed without knowing you're floating on the ruins of an important ancient city. You can imagine it. Before the technical equipment was developed that could be used to locate them, it was extremely difficult to find any traces. In the 1990s, IEASM and Egypt's Supreme Council of Antiquities managed to find Thonis Heracleion about 4 miles from shore, at a depth of about 30 feet. In 2000, divers began exploring the area. What they found was incredible. There were ruins of buildings hidden under the waves for a long time. Statues over 15 meters high, goblets, sarcophagi, stone slabs with hieroglyphs written on them, war helmets, perfume bottles, anchors, jewelry, coins, and much more. Some of the most impressive statues include Hapi, the fertility god who once guarded the harbor of Thonis Heracleion, and Queen Elizabeth III, one of Egypt's 2nd century queens. They were statues of Cleopatra. In recent years, other diving trips to the underwater city have also uncovered an ancient Greek military ship that was probably anchored off the city's shores when the Temple of Amun-Gereb collapsed, and a Greek burial complex from the 4th century BCE. However, Goddio notes that only a small percentage of the site, which is located in an area of about 6 or 9 miles, has been unearthed. It's very likely that Thonis Heracleion will yield more incredible treasures as exploration continues. This ancient city of Egypt is clearly one of the richest places of antiquity, and the beauty of these ancient artifacts is incredible. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more history videos. Thanks for watching. Bye.